Hey YouTube, Dawson Ryder here, coming at you with a Power Rangers rumor courtesy of Jinsaku. I know some people don't like when I cover his rumors, but I feel like he's been right often enough to talk about it. I mainly like to talk about these, not because necessarily I think it's going to be true, but I think these are interesting kind of windows into what ifs. What it is a synopsis of what was allegedly pitched for the upcoming reboot as far as a premise. Now again, this could be wrong. This could actually be right in terms of like what they pitched, but it could change. I've seen movies and TV shows where you see the final product and it has echoes of an original pitch, or it's completely different, and you hear later this was the original pitch. Because sometimes with these rumors, people like to call out like, oh, it's fake or whatever, but sometimes things just change between the rumor and the result. But I mainly wanted to talk about it because I thought it was interesting, and it's not as if this is like a crazy scoop that sounds unrealistic and crazy that would never happen, like Billy Piper being the 16th Doctor. I mean, that'd be nuts. When a small town is rocked by a series of bizarre time anomalies, people vanishing, memories changing, and fragments of futuristic tech appearing, a group of misfits and outsiders are drawn to the center of it all. A forgotten facility buried beneath the town. So Legends of Tomorrow, they're going to show up and save the day. This also does totally sound like the premise of the Reality War and Wish World, so I think what's going to happen is the Doctor will just ultimately save them with his regeneration energy, and then boom, Billy Piper, 16th Doctor. It all connects. Anyway, continuing. They're chosen to be the first Power Rangers team in decades, but the world doesn't remember the Rangers even existed. This series was pitched as a mystery detective-style story with a soft reboot, with other seasons in the franchise's canon from a distance, and the show will also explore the backstory and origin of the Morphin Grid. It's a bigger budget TV story for Disney and Hulu. So, this actually sounds really interesting. I actually really like this premise. It sounds a little like weebly-wobbly, timey-wimey, all the Doctor Who references possible. I'm sorry, it's been on my mind, as you can see. Anyway, I like that it's different though, because any form of the reboot you would think would just take a very generic route of maybe like a Zordon-esque marriage, Zordon-esque mentor, and recruiting a team of teenagers with attitude. But I like that this is a little bit different, and you would have this mystery involving, and then it would give you this kind of like watch every episode factor of like maybe each week they have a piece of the puzzle. I doubt it, but I really hope it's going to be more than 8 episodes. And who knows if this will happen, but I think it's cool to have a unique premise, and I like the idea of like Rangers once being a thing and people not remembering it. I am a little bit mixed on the idea of it being soft canon to the main universe. Like, I've gone on record as saying I'm fine distancing us from Sentai, like 100%, but I've never really talked about like the main universe, but I've always thought that I think it needs to be just a full reboot. I don't want it to be in the main continuity, to be honest with you, just because I think that has a lot of baggage, you know, in terms of if they do decide to like hard commit at some point and show something from the old seasons or bring back an actor, then you're beholden to certain like canon and stuff. Well, you can always change it. It doesn't matter. But you know what I mean? Like, you just run into that mess, and then you have the fans being like, the rules, the lore, the source material, blah, blah, blah. And then you have people like begging for cameos and stuff, and I think it would be easier just to be a clean slate. It does say like loose connections, so I would kind of prefer that if it was kind of almost like a mirror universe where like a vague version of the events happened, and you might have some Easter egg and references being like, hey, there was a bunch of Rangers from the future that came here or something, but you don't have to be beholden to it, and you can do your own thing. I just think that's so much easier. Like, I think it would be a mistake to make it a direct continuation and make it hard to follow, but I would be interested to see this, but I would prefer it just be its 100% own continuity. I just think that might be a bit of a mistake, but who knows, that could change in the future. The whole mystery detective angle is also pretty interesting. I almost feel like that could be a way of having episodes that are kind of like Ranger Light, where you don't have as much action or stuff that would take budget, and you might have some more investigation stuff, which might make some people mad, but I'm really hoping this is not formulaic, you know. Most casuals will make fun of the formula of PR, you know, fight the monster, grows big, all that stuff. I mean, maybe we'll have that, although I'll be honest, if we don't have Megazords, I wouldn't be mad. But regardless, I think that would be a cool way to change the format. The showrunner of this is, I believe, the one from Percy Jackson, the TV series, not the movies. I did watch the first episode. I'm planning on trying to finish it. Like, it's not that I hated the first episode, it just didn't grab me in the way that I can't wait to watch more. So I do want to watch the season and then do kind of a video just talking about, like, if that gave me any insight into what the series would be like. I mean, it could be completely different. We've seen showrunners and directors and writers write things that are completely different. But I just thought because it might be on Disney Plus if it happens, and this series is very much that you might get a feel for it. Kind of like I just saw Karate Kid Legends, which I know some people didn't like. I thought it was a blast, and I couldn't help but think that some of the stylistic stuff they did would have been really cool for a Power Rangers reboot. And in particular, actually, the lead character, the new Karate Kid character for that, I think would be a great Ranger, especially if they skew a little bit younger. Not that he's younger, because he's in his 20s in real life, I believe, but in the movie he plays like sophomore, junior, or whatever, meant to be 16, 17, and he looks younger. He's like one of those people that looks like it would be more a part of his younger 16-year-old cast. So if they did skew younger, he would honestly be great, because he's also talented in martial arts arts. It's funny how often Karate Kid stuff and Cobra Kai comes into play when talking about Power Rangers stuff, but I honestly would have loved to have seen what Jonathan Entwistle's take would have been like. I know we heard about all the multiversal Tommy stuff, but just in terms of the style, like again, I know some people didn't like the new movie, but I think that movie really had a lot of style that would have been cool for PR, so I kind of felt like I got a window into maybe what stylistically the PR reboot would have looked like. Reboot, I don't know why I said it like that. I don't know what that's about. But what that would have looked like under him stylistically, and I'm going to finish Percy Jackson at some point and do a video just talking about the feel of it. I definitely feel the YA aspect of it so far, but we'll have to see. But regardless, this sounds interesting. It could end up nothing like what we get. I just kind of hope it's not in the main continuity, but I do like the idea of it being set in a world where Rangers were once a thing, whether it's forgotten or maybe it's Rangers haven't been needed for a long time. Oddly enough, reminds me a little bit of what I've been thinking in my head for my Go Juju adaptation video. I still need to do the Boom Boom Drew one, but what do you think of the premise? Let me know in the comments as always. Until next time, Dawson Ryder, signing out.